All right, so welcome to this session, and thank you so much for again joining in. So my name is Coach Samuel Ibanda, and today I want to teach you about content creation, something that is part of our growth journey as members. One of the things that I have been able to really focus on, especially around my work, is content creation. So we are in the era of social media where we have quite a number of platforms where people can be able to grow their personal brands, connect with different people, and be able to do various things, including earning. So for me, I chose to give a focus to LinkedIn. Of course, you'll find me on other platforms, but LinkedIn has come through as a great platform that has really transformed the way I do things, as well as brought various opportunities along the way. So as somebody who is a professional, a professional out there, and maybe you've heard people speak about LinkedIn, or this is the first time you're hearing about LinkedIn, one of the things I would say is being on LinkedIn is something that is no longer, you could say, an option, and you'd be like, okay, I do not want to be on LinkedIn, so I can just live my life the way it is. If you're somebody who wants to grow, who wants to be able to connect with various people, LinkedIn is the game changer for you, and you'll be able to really benefit from it. So one of the things that I do, when you have an account on LinkedIn, you basically have your profile page, which is basically your home page. So when people visit your profile, they get an impression of you, basically what you offer, your qualifications, whatever you provide. Now, LinkedIn works in a way that you want to make sure that whoever visits your profile is able to either buy from you or whatever your intention of being online is, or either connect with you. So when I started out my journey on LinkedIn, of course, mine was to connect with other people. It was not about a job search, it was not about business, but this has also evolved because when you're on a great platform like this one and you see other people doing certain things on it, then you also feel like you need to be able to follow suit if that is something that is within your line. So when people visit your profile, of course, one of the first thing they will notice is your photo. So it's encouraged that you make sure that whatever photo you're using online is a professional photo and also represents your brand. So for me, I'm an accountant, I'm a coach and growth mentor. So when somebody visits my profile, I want them to get that impression. And that is something that I've been able to get, especially for feedback. So you have quite a number of people that are visiting your profile. As you could see, when you get to my analytics here, I have over 1,908 people that are visiting my profile in the past 90 days. So what does it mean with this 1,908 people? It means that these are people who are coming with other opportunities. These are recruiters, this could be customers, this could be mentees, this could be just people who are passing by to just see what I do and maybe could later recommend or could either do anything with knowing me. So that is one of the things that you'll be able to see. So as you continue through, of course, your about section is very key because when somebody has seen your profile and has also seen your header, what you do, this is basically as a summary. Of course, just like the way we have reports, what we call an executive summary. When somebody, there are some people who visit your profile and all they will do is end here. They will not scroll. For some people, when they come here and see what you're doing and whatever, then they'll feel they want to scroll. Of course, the header needs to really speak to what you do. You could be able to expand it to also other aspects that you're really passionate about. Like, for example, you can see here I indicate I'm passionate about helping you find new jobs, grow your career, and build wealth. If you follow some of my content, you actually get to realize that this is exactly what I keep on writing about every day. So that is something that comes in. Of course, this where you're working or your last education, all these aspects come into play when it comes to how you're positioning yourself. Now, of course, your about section also is very key. Now, just like the way you have your CV and you have a professional summary. So again, when somebody visits your profile, what is in their mind is they're asking themselves, who is this person? What are they doing? Because much likely they might have seen you somewhere. Maybe they have seen your profile here and they felt like, I need to just click on this person to see. So when you're explaining here, you're speaking to the person to whom you want to speak to when it comes to being on LinkedIn. So if I was searching for a job, means that I should be speaking to the recruiter in terms of my skills, my experiences, my achievements, or whatever I've done. If I am a mentor or I'm a coach, I'm also trying to position myself in my areas of expertise to somebody such that when somebody visits my profile, they're able to see some kind of value. Of course, once you proceed into advancing your account, you could also have aspects of your services. For example, you could see some of my services, financial advisory, resume writing, interview coaching, and so on. Then you also have a featured section here. Now, featured section is more like whoever visits my profile should be able to know certain things about me or certain highlights that I want to put out to the world. When you come and see my profile here, of course, TPC is to my heart. So I feel that whoever visits my profile should be able to see TPC first, nothing else. And then it also, I have one post that one of the people that invited me to speak highlighted me about. This was a post that Joanne made when she invited me to do a training with the NSSF team. Of course, this was a milestone in my career. And what also happened is there's what we call it's either third party information. When somebody writes something about you, it sounds more than you writing about yourself. So when Joanne wrote this small post about me, of how she took a bet on me and she really liked my presentation, I felt that this is a post that I need to just put onto my what? Onto my this. Then of course I have a YouTube channel which I feel I need to also be able to remind people. So when somebody visits here, I want them maybe to click on this YouTube channel and go the other side of my YouTube channel and also be able to grow my expertise. But also this helps when, for example, there's a time I was looking for one of the TPC members, and I wanted them to do some speaking. So in my mind, I was trying to find out, can this person speak? Like I wanted to get a video of them speaking. So for me, this, and you could see even when Joanne was trying to point out, say that from Samuel's posts and YouTube videos, I'm somehow thinking that Joanne might have gotten the YouTube link from here. So it's also very important if you have another platform that you want people to visit, that could also be an area. Then I also highlighted one of the posts where I was awarded an award sharing about my story. So I feel this post could resonate with a recruiter, could also resonate with somebody who is my mentee, who follows me, who might need some support or guidance. Of course, this is also a small flyer and quite a number of other featured posts. So featured posts is about if you've been featured on a TV, if you've been featured in a newspaper, or it is a post that you feel is a post that could speak to your audience, you come and feature it there, which is good. And you can be able to learn how to feature posts even by just going to YouTube, and if in case that is something that you could be interested in. Of course, there it shows your posts, then it shows your titles. So I'm very intentional on how I also arrange my experience here. Of course, as the founder of TPC, this being here, I want whoever visits my profile to see that. Of course, I also have my professional experience. Now, when I have some icons, kind of like things that I've been able to really get on job, I feel like, for example, my exceptional award, I made sure I put it here because, again, the people that I want to visit my profile, either it's a recruiter or it is somebody who wants to hire me as a consultant, I want them to get out with an impression that I actually know what I do at the end of the day. So that is something that comes in very key. Of course, quite a number of other things that you come find on my profile. You'll find my education, wherever I've studied, some of them either degrees, either courses. I also have some certifications. Sometimes I upload some of the certificates. Sometimes even these certificates just help me that I keep them here. When I need them, I can find them. I have some projects that I have done previously. Then I also have some volunteering that I also have done or I'm doing. Then also have now recommendations that I've been able to get. Now, recommendations, of course, are very key. Either it's from your customers, either it is from your former employee or employer, whatever it is, somebody who can write about you. Now, again, I mentioned about third-party information. When somebody writes something about you, people tend to trust it more than any other person, than you writing about yourself. So it's very important that even when you go to my website, you'll be able to find people who have written about me. So that is something that comes out very key. So I have received about 6 of them that you'll be able to find here. And then, of course, some publications. One time I had an article with New Vision on WhatsApp. I have some honors and awards. I have quite a number of things. So for me, what I basically did is to utilize all the different sections of LinkedIn. So when you even look at my profile, previous LinkedIn would basically score the profiles. My profile was basically 5-star because it captured all the aspects that LinkedIn was speaking about. So could be something that you might want to explore, even as you're growing your profile. Now, one of the things that I want to share is about content creation, and I just want to take you through my thought process around the content I write. Now, I already mentioned to you that I made the decision on who I write to. So when I'm writing my content, I have the person I'm writing to in my mind. So one of the things that you'll get to realize that LinkedIn has quite a number of classes of people. There are those that are CEOs, there are those that are just starting off their employment, there are those that are in middle management, there are those that do not have jobs. They're just those who are just HR people who are just on LinkedIn to look for the next person who we should recruit. So in terms of my content, if you followed me for some while, you get to realize when I started out writing content online, especially for LinkedIn, I used to write about the CPA course. Now it so happens that time I was teaching the CPA course and I was using LinkedIn as a way to get my students. So I would write about how to pass a paper, how to manage an exam, how to do various things. And somehow I haven't landed my first speaking gig to speaking to a US community because of my CPA articles. Now, along the way, I made a decision to now start writing on aspects of career and personal finance. So you'll get to realize that my posts follow that kind of pattern. So when you read my post, it will make be either about personal finance or career. Now, sometimes I also mix in based on let's say maybe it's a celebration, there's something I've been able to get along the way, or it could be just an inspiration out of the blue. Because one of the things that I've come to realize is that the online space is just like life itself. You don't have to be serious every time. Like you don't have to follow a pattern, like a pattern of like this is it, this is it, this is it. You have to continuously be flexible such that even your audience feels like you're human. So that's why you find if there's some news, maybe funds freeze, I'll come and put an article or whatever. But somehow I still speak to that person that I write to. When you look at my inspirational posts, you come to realize that even those inspirational posts, speak to somebody who is in lower level management or they're just starting out in their career, because that is many my audience. So that is something that you should also need to know and say, okay, if you're into financial literacy, what kind of person do you want to speak to in your financial literacy? Is it just the general public? Is it the high wealthy class? Because definitely the message that the high wealthy want to listen to is totally different to the message that somebody who's just starting their journey is starting out. So that is one of the things. Now, one of the things that I've also come to realize that along the journey, you actually build a community of people that follow your content. So when you get to realize that when I make posts, and kudos, this is one of the TPC members, she was trying to write about her experience on TPC, which was good to hear from someone. But I just want to show you one of my posts that I made. So one of the things that you'll see, even as I do, you'll see me sharing some posts as well. So one of the things that I've also come to learn that LinkedIn, you need to be able to support other people, which is very good because when you support other people, they also support you. But also the algorithm also somehow supports you because, these are communities. So when I share your post or I comment on your post, much likely you're going to see my posts as well. So that is something that also happens. So I just want to show you one of my written posts that I've made. Okay, so I made this post and I say this is strictly to those who aspire to grow from lower position to a higher one, say officer to manager. So here I was speaking to somebody who is in that level who wants to grow. Now, why did I make this post? Now, I made this post because one of the things that I do is I help people to be able to grow in their careers and whatever. So I thought that there's somebody out there who could be asking themselves, how can I be able to grow and maybe get to where Samuel is? So I was just trying to share some of what I think or what has been from my journey. So sometimes I share from my journey uh, because it's relatable. And that is why you see when I say my lesson from 10 years of my career is that it is easier to grow. Now, when I make this post, somebody is very curious to read because they feel um, I'm authentic. Because we're in the era of AI where somebody will just run AI and create content and put it there. So you need to be able to see that even when somebody's reading your content, they feel like it's personal, it speaks to you, it's authentic. Now, one of the things that also happens is there's this fast. Now, me putting this word strictly for those who aspire to grow, I know that there could be other people that could be able to read this kind of content as well. But one of the things I've come to realize is people are lazy and there's a lot of noise on LinkedIn. So your first two lines influence if somebody will click on your post. Now, when you see these posts online, you get to realize that usually it is the first two lines that show up. So when you go to, I'm just going to show you now, you could see here. So when you look at, okay, this has loaded, but let's see, let me just show you one of the posts that maybe could be of a person who has posted, so you could be able to see. Okay. So somebody says 1,000 attendees in just 30 minutes. Just Ivy is a top is just Ivy isn't just a top voice. She's a force to be reckoned on. Now, these two lines could influence me to either click more or to just proceed. So that is one of the things that you need to be able to know, because this is something that you also do as somebody who looks at content, because you want to see, does this interest me? So you say, from one room to a new life. It's a single mom's journey. When I held my newborn son for the first time, I left two things at once. Now, this post, I wouldn't be surprised that if this post goes viral, and you could see it's at 95. Why? Because this is something that is emotional. And when somebody reads these two lines, people love stories. Storytelling is a powerful tool when it comes to content creation. People love stories. So the key goal is to make people click more here. Now, one of the things that you come to realize, even when it comes to my content, okay, of course, one of the things that I do is I'm intentional at attaching pictures to my content. Now, of course, as a public speaker, as a coach, as somebody who wants to be able to grow my brand, I try to attach let's say professional photo on my what on my post. But times where I also have maybe a photo that is not just professional, but it's relatable to the post and speaks well. It is something that you'll be able to see me do even when it comes to my posts. So one of the things that will make people either to click on your posts is actually the photo. So when I see somebody post about their son here and they have had good two lines, definitely I'm going to be hooked to go through their post. So you could see that the post is long, but I've been already hooked. And by the time I'm hooked, I'm going to be able to read through their posts. So you need to make sure that your first two lines, if for example, she had started with something that is totally not related or that does not resonate, or it had attached, she had maybe not attached a photo, or she had just posted something random, it may not maybe have gotten to here. Of course, it depends. There are quite a number of other factors that might come through. But one of the things that I've for the time that I've been on LinkedIn, posts that have a photo to them are posts that have a better reach. Even the algorithm itself, and the algorithm means that these applications, for example, LinkedIn, have a back-end system that makes some posts to have a better reach than other posts. So that is something that you'll be able to learn even you proceed. So that is one of the things that I wanted to share when it comes to those first two lines. So of course, in this era and age, is something that I'm also trying to continuously learn. People also have a low attention span when it comes to posts. So also making sure that you break them down in paragraphs is also something that helps. I've seen some people who even break this down in terms of words. When you go to, I think I've seen this being done by somebody called Moses Mogera. This is one person we I think invited to speak to us in the TPS community. When you look at Moses's posts, you'll get to realize that even breaks them down in terms of in just single lines. And I think you might have seen this even with other writers as well. So you could see that whatever he would have put in a single paragraph, he has broken it down. Why? Because when we read as readers, we love things that are able to flow, that you're able to flow through. So you'll find that he writes like this and goes through the whole post like that. Now, somehow you might say, but this is not profession. How could you just say and yet and go to the next? But he's trying to look at how people read content. So people read things that are easily spaced, easily follow through. So somebody is able to follow through, and at the end of the day, you find them reading your entire post. So I'm also trying to learn to see how I can even break down. So instead of just making a list into a single paragraph, I'm able to break it in such that somebody can read. And I think you've seen some long posts that you feel overwhelmed to read. Maybe you're catching up with an assignment during the workplace, or you're doing whatever you're doing, and you feel like, "Ah, I can't just read this. Maybe I'll read it later on." But when somebody breaks it down for you, you feel like, "Ah, I can read this. These are just lines." Before you know it, you've actually read the whole post. So it's very important for you to just make sure that you break down such that it is easier for somebody to read. Sometimes, if you can even use bullets. I think in some of my posts, you might have realized I go to do some bullets, which is good because it helps you also somehow. Let me see if this has bullets. Okay, this does not have bullets. Okay, there are quite a number of things that I try to include bullets, just to make sure that The content is also easier readable, but it's something. Okay, I've seen some bullets here. So you could see I've included some. So these bullets also help the reader to easily follow through. You just want to make sure that when somebody's reading your content, they don't end in a halfway and feel like they have stopped there. You want them to continuously read and continue. So that is one of the things. Of course, short posts, short posts, short posts, because people are now getting a little busy and there's a lot of noise. So one of my, of course, one of those weaknesses that I continuously want to fight is long posts. But I also because I have a good fan base of people who know, because usually what happens is when you're starting out on LinkedIn, you people just randomly read your posts. But I'll tell you that now for me, I have people who intentionally, when they see my posts, they'll pause and read because I have been able to grow a certain level of brand that they feel what I write is worth reading. It's not just random. So that is one of the things that you need to be able to of course catch up as you proceed. So that is one of the things. Now, of course, one of the things that when starting out, you struggle so much because sometimes you make a post and you don't have even 2 likes on your posts. Now, one of the things that I would encourage you is one, when you make your own post, make sure you're the first person to like it. That is a very powerful tool. When you look here, you can see you and others liked it. So before the 70 others liked my post, I made sure I liked my posts. The other that I also do, I used to do it quite often last year, but comment on your post. It could be sharing an idea that you might have not be able to share in the post here. You just comment about it in here. And this is something that I've also seen with quite a number of writers. When you visit some of these writers, you get realized that these are people who intentionally comment on their posts. Sometimes even their comments are more than what you think. So you could see that this one goes and comments after she has made a very great post here. She goes and comments comment 1, comment 2, and she continues to maybe another comment. Now, in this, you're trying to initiate people into engaging with your post. Because you see, usually when you get a post and it has a comment to it, maybe you've resonated with the post, much likely you'll get into the comment section. There are many times when you see a post and you'll be afraid to be the first commenter. But again, when you find some comments in there, you feel like, okay, maybe I need to be able to comment. So that is something that is powerful. So again, these 2 lines are important because they're the ones that are going to make somebody feel either they should post. The photo also comes as handy because it helps you when you're beating the algorithm. But also people, if somebody has seen you or somebody has been seeing your posts. So basically the photo on the post is also a banner of saying, again, I have another post for you. Compared if at all, because this is a small photo. So somebody may easily miss it. But when somebody sees your post, they'll even pause and click more. And when you click more, means that you've now taken their attention. They'll now start to read through. So you could see she has mastered this writing smaller posts, which is working out well for them. So that is something that has worked in the process. Now, one of the things that I've also seen other people also do is hashtags. So hashtags are also very helpful when it comes to your LinkedIn, let's say your LinkedIn post, or you're making a post anywhere. Now, these hashtags also work with the algorithm. So for example, if for example I just clicked on coaching, this hashtag coaching, you get realized it's something that you're going to see. So coaching has over 186,002 followers that follow coaching. So if I follow, so I've become the 186,021 follower. So what this means that when you put that hashtag of coaching, you're also reaching another kind of audience that follows this hashtag called coaching. So even down here, you get to realize that there will be other people that have written about coaching that you'll be able to see in the process. So you make sure that at least have some relatable hashtags that could be able to one of my mentors in terms of social media tells me you should have at least 6 hashtags onto your posts. So it's very important for you to just maybe have 3 or 4, but at least have some hashtags that somebody can be able to that could help you to be able to even leverage. You can see growth has this number of followers. And even when you click here, it means that you'll be able to see some posts. So somehow you see a post because you follow a given hashtag. Of course, the hashtags work even other platforms, but that is something that you need to make sure that you include. A hashtag is just an important tool for you to be able to have. Now, um, one of the things I want to also highlight when it comes to your content, of course, I've told you invest in your in yourself and go and take professional photos that you can attach on your posts because they show that you're professional in nature. And then also make sure that you are engaging with other let's say other people that are online. Now, one of the other things is also, of course, people engage with your posts. Now, those are like your fans, people that have now started to get interested in your content. One of the things they have told me over and over time is make sure that if somebody likes your post or if somebody comments on your post, engage with them because it takes really a great effort for somebody to just click and engage on your post. So that is something that comes in very key when it comes here. Now, one of the things that also thank you, Coach Diana, for being part of this. One of the things that I would also just share is and even as we continue through this session is, of course, there are also people that repost. Now, these reposts also help you. Now, sometimes the intention is just include the repost to help someone. This is something I've also seen quite a number of creators use it. Sometimes people just need to be asked to do certain things, and that's when they will do them. So that is one of the things that I've also been able to see. So that's why I'll include this, and you'll find that somehow people will actually reshare your post, which gives it a better reach. Some of the things that I also do that I could also just share is sometimes within your posts you could preempt a discussion. I just want to show you one of my posts and see if at all it has okay, I want to show you one of my posts that would have that. Okay, these ones have not included that. Okay, of course, depends, but sometimes you can preempt a conversation, usually in the first, like here you can see, what are your thoughts about applying for jobs where I didn't meet requirements? So this post was about don't disqualify yourself because of others. And said one of my mentees recently reached out. So this is more of like a story. It's also a strategy to just make sure that I'm doing the story. But also, after I was done with the post, I made sure that what are your thoughts about applying for jobs where you don't meet any requirements? And you could realize that there was some engagement here in terms of the post, and people were trying to share about their experience in that. So it helps you. Now, why should people, let's say, comment on your post? Is it gives it better reach. Because at the end of the day, why you've taken your time and energy to post, it's just important that people are able to at least learn. They learn from you, but your post should be able to reach more people because you could see now there's what we call impressions. So as you can see, over 2,204 impressions. So those are like people that might have seen the post. Now, there are quite a number of people that do not like or share or comment on your post. But one of the things I'll tell you that online people are watching. always when you post, people are always watching. And if you're able to do a great job, somehow you'll be able to benefit in the process. So that is something that I've been able to uh witness along the way. So visuals are very good when it comes, because the internet gets noisy every day. So you have to make sure that you are there. One of the things that I would say is engage with other people's posts. Sometimes when you make a post and you're waiting for somebody to come through and, let's say, comment on your post, make sure that you're doing it yourself. Go and check out people's content, and make sure that you're engaging. One of the things I've done is, there are people that uh, I want to build relationships with. Now, I'll give you an example. And for this, especially now, let's say Coach Diana, or let's say Coach Joan. Now, those are people who are in my area of expertise and area of like field. So I believe that when I connect, I learn from them, but also helps me in the process. I'm also able to tap into their network as well. So I engage with their posts on a daily basis. When I just intentionally say I'm going to, when I see their post, I'll read it, I'll take my time, engage with that post, and leave a thoughtful comment. Now, liking is good, but when you leave a thoughtful comment, it helps you build relationship, because you see there are quite a number of, like, this creator journey, this journey of posting content is not an easy journey in itself, because there are quite a number of people who make posts, but they don't get engagement. So when you come through and be like, okay, this post looks good, and maybe you celebrate them, and then you come to the post and just read it through and see what they are saying, and then you come and leave a thoughtful post. Now, one of the things you can see, he was trying to comment on his own posts, but one of the things that you get to realize is um, when somebody leaves this comment, and I've done this and it has worked, there are people who have intentionally commented on their posts less on a daily basis. And by the time we're on the fifth post or fifth day, or it may not be a daily basis, but by the end we are somewhere already. You can see that they're also engaging with your posts as well. So it works like that. And I told you that the algorithm also, when you comment on people's posts, it also somehow supports you as well. It makes your posts visible to them. That is one of the things. So that is one of the things I encourage you to really do to make sure. Now, the other one to mention and say, who is following your content? Now, some of you could have, let's say, 200 followers, which is a big number, because when you put 200 people into a room, some rooms cannot even hold 200 people. So imagine those are the people that are following you. So number of followers may not matter, but over time you build, because when somebody appreciates your content, then they now feel like they need to be able to now start learning from you. So they'll connect. And that is how you're able to grow your connections. Now you could see I have this number of connections coming to over 40,000. Now, this has not been like this from the start. So what you need to be able to do is, when you on LinkedIn, once you've determined on who your audience is, continuously grow your audience by reaching out. Just like the way you're waiting for people to connect with you, reach out to those people. So what I usually do, there's usually this network section. So when you click on the network section, usually it gives you recommendations, people with the same roles or whatever, and then you can be able to pick out. There was a time when I wanted to appeal to people who are finance or accounting background, and I know it's not a surprise that some of the people that even follow me have that kind of background. So I would go, and even if maybe I'm looking at people with that you may know, I look out for somebody. If this somebody is, let's say, this is Ojire Alozias. Ojire Alozias usually interacts with my content, so I connect with them. I give them a connection request. Now, what this helps is that because Cyrus interacts with my content, if Cyrus wants to reach out to me, he will not be limited by the limitations of LinkedIn because we are not connected. But it also helped Cyrus to be able to start seeing my content. And also, I'm able to also be able to grow my followership because LinkedIn gives you about 100 new followers I think every week that you can be able to add to your to send out requests. Of course, not everyone you send out requests, they'll be able to approve. But one of the things that is continuously grow your audience. There's a time when I was growing my audience, I was reaching out to, like, I was connecting with people who are in HR because some of my programs, some of my training programs, it is HR people that would make decisions about them for their staff to be able to take such kind of training. So I felt that HR people could be key. Some of times I would even just intentionally say I'm going to connect with CEOs, people who have either founder or CEO. Why? Because I feel that such a person might be in need of, let's say, my accounting services. Now, when I see somebody who is like, this one is an aspiring accountant, I connect with them because either I'm a CPA tutor or I'm somebody who is into, let's say, mentorship and coaching for accountants. So I want to connect with my clients. I want to connect. So LinkedIn is not just about connecting with, let's say, people who are in Superior or whatever. Sometimes you even need to get down and say, who is my audience? Who would be interested in my message? And you can also be able to see that from the pattern of your posts, because when you make posts, there's what we call the analytics around it. So when you click to view analytics, you'll be able to see the people that interact with your posts. So you can see post demographics, people that interact. You can even ask it to give you more. So you can see the people interact with your posts are mainly accountants, finance officers, CEOs, auditors, founders. Now, somehow, this is not a mistake that these people resonate. So somehow, because of my message and also because of my profile, it is no surprise that these are the people that resonate with my posts. So somehow, I know that if accountants have a highest percentage of those that interact with my posts, much likely those people may benefit from my content than any other person. So that is something that I've been able to. So you can see people in Kampala also form 50%, 15%. Of course, the company, the industry, seniority also comes in. Now you'll see I have a huge entry and senior uh following because I intentionally connect with the person who is still starting out, who is either at mid-level. So that is one of the things. So directors, managers, yeah, these are part of my niche as well, but this is not my core because I believe that my content may not easily resonate with them because one, I'm trying to target somebody who's just entering career or is in there and is trying to figure out. So that is something that I would say when it comes to content creation. So of course, there are quite a number of other things that you may need to be able to take into picture. But when it comes to content creation, it's a journey. I would say that you do not wake up and you're up there, that you have all these number of followers. Every day you learn. One of the things that I do is there are people that I'll be able to learn from. Now, for example, this one I say, okay, I see you have a great post, and instead of just using your photo, you included a quote, and I'm able to see how does this maybe help another person. I've also done something like that when it comes to the way I make posts. When you go to, there's an application that I usually use, I think it's called Canva. So Canva is able to make for you some postcards, like kind of content posters that you can be able to use. If you followed my content, you'll be able to see some of those. Of course, why I love Canva is that Canva gives you some templates that you can be able to use. So you can see these are if you followed some of my content, you might have seen me post cards like this. So these I create them from Canva. Now, what is so much good about Canva is that Canva has templates. So you do not have to to create things. You just basically get a template and edit it accordingly. And somehow you'll be able to have yeah, content. Of course, it's good to continuously change and share some let's say different formats, because sometimes your clients or your followers may want some change. So it's quite important. So sometimes I come here and do some flyers that I can be able to post. Like I said, Canva is easy to use. You can see this is a post that I made one time. Here I was when I was writing about let's say personal finance. So you can see I put a quote and I show my photo here. Yeah, and somehow it's just more of like dragging and including and then just typing, and then you change color based on your color preference. And before you know it, you have a post that you're putting out there and people feel resonated with. So you can be able to use Canva. Canva is one of those that they use. So I'm not surprised if at all this lady used Canva to come up with this. So Canva is also a great tool when it comes to content creation. There are quite a number of other content tools that you can be able to leverage on, but Canva is one of them, and it has templates. When you, for example, you have designs, let me just show you some of the designs they will have. They have designs. Of course, they have premium designs, and then they have free designs. But I've used Canva, the free version, and it has worked very well for the past times. So all you need to do is to say maybe LinkedIn post or LinkedIn banner, whatever you can. Then it will give you, now you can see. So you can see it has given me this. So what I can do is maybe add a new image. So it brings me this. So I'm able to just change this and come here and change my photo. Maybe delete this and just come here. What I can do, I can just add a photo. Okay, this is somebody's photo. Let me just try to add this. Yeah, so I've just dragged. So I'm able to just change this quote, put my name, and also just put it there. And I'll just come here on share, and I click download, and it will download. And then it asks me the video or whatever. I'll say I want a JPG. So it downloads. And so I'm able to, let's say, post that, let's say on my Canva. But here it is telling me your design contains some premium. So I'll check out and see what could be the premium components, which I'm able to remove, and then I'm able to, yeah, to make my posts. Maybe it could be either this one or whatever. I can just try to undo. Sometimes it can allow you to let's say download, but what happens is when you download it comes with it will come with what can I say? It will come with the logo of Canva. So you can be able to explore this, but there are quite a number of free versions that you can be able to just pick and try to refine. You can see there are quite a number of options, and even those that may not have even a premium elements. And of course, if you want to do Canva, you want to pay for it, you can also go ahead to be able to pay for it. It's a very great tool that you can be able to leverage on. So that is one of the things that you'll be able to see when it comes to aspects of content creation. The other, I would also say, of course, like I said, continuously invest in your photography. There are quite a number of times when I just visit let's say a photo studio and take photos. When you participate in events, just have a friend to take some photos of you, and just make sure that everything's you have at least pictures that you can always keep on tweaking. Now, one of the things that I also do with my content, now sometimes I really get caught up with work that I cannot make fresh content. Now, those that have followed me will actually be able to realize that there's sometimes I repeat some of my content. And one thing I that usually comforts me is like music. You know, a producer, somebody can produce music, and this music can play like for several years and years. So I'm like, if I've written this content before, why can't I post it again? So that is one of the things that I usually do with my content. Even, of course, pictures, I also repeat them. And sometimes you've made a post because, for example, you could see this post. It takes time to get a good pay. If you followed me, you might have realized that I made this post maybe a year ago, something like that. But when I make it, either I've gotten new followers who may not know about the post, or just even if somebody resonated with the post last year, it's acting as a reminder for them to be able to. So that is sometimes you may see us showing up every day, but it doesn't mean that we're actually producing new content. Sometimes it is just content that we've had previously. So one of the things that I also do is, as someone that I've also done, is I have what I call a content library. So continuously, I get what I may call content ideas. Now, those content ideas might be random. Sometimes I'm just doing my work there and I think about content, or I'm able to just it could be, let's say I'm reading somebody's post and I find there's something that they have not brought out well, so I note it down. Now, what happens is when I have now let's say time, I get down and I'm able to expound on that post, or be able to just add something more to the post. So that is one thing that I usually do. So when it comes to content creation, so getting ideas may not be something, especially when every time I sit down to say I'm now going to let's say come up with a content idea such I can post, I'll tell you I struggle because maybe you're not in the right state of mind. So what I've gone ahead to do is I'm going to just share with you my screen. So this is my content library. I call it LinkedIn Post 2025. So you'll see I have small bits of content. So I just think about I'll give you an example. So you could see I just wrote a prompt. I can't walk up country. I love the city, all that is in it. Sometimes to grow in your career, you have to leave your comfort zone. So when you get to realize, if you followed some of my posts, you could realize that I've posted about my experience working out of Kampala. So that post was inspired by such kind of a thought. So sometimes I'm just their employee. I'm here to assure you that there's still an organization that recruits without bias, pure on merit. There are organizations that value their people and prioritize their career growth. There are managers who have empathy and want the best for you. So they're just like a few lines, as you could see, but somehow you could realize that some of these I'm going to expound and have a viral post out of them. And because I could have thought about this, maybe I just talked to somebody who felt there's no organization that still does ABCD. And I'm just trying to think that, guys, there's actually there are organizations that still do these things. So I'm like, I want to write about this one time. So I include it here. So you could see I have quite a number of prompts. I come and say, if salary is your only source of income, this post is for you. It is a hard conversation. So I just write a prompt the way it is there. And before you know it, I can be able to expound it. Now, sometimes even when it gets like it gets worse, maybe it's a worse scenario, what I do, I get this. If your salary is the only source, this post is not for you. So what I do, I usually use that tool that most people usually use, which ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, one of the things I've been able to learn is, okay, uh many things have really changed, especially when it comes to content creation. That you do not have to think about everything. Basically, you're using ChatGPT as a thinking partner. Now, this ChatGPT helps you to be able to think through certain things, but also helps you refine your ideas. Now, sometimes I just come here and post my prompt and say, expound, expound this for me. For a LinkedIn post. So because it's a prompt, so ChatGPT is going to write something. Now ChatGPT it's good to have an account with ChatGPT. ChatGPT continuously learns the way you write your writing style. That even when you give it a prompt, it is easier for it to be able to write for you something that could be relatable. So you can see ChatGPT is trying to write for me. If salary is your only source of income, this post is not for you. Let's talk about something most professionals avoid, relying solely on salary. If your job is your only source of income, you're walking a financial tightrope. What happens if that unexpected happens? Restructuring, da 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 da. No job is secure. Here is the truth. Foundation, start small, you don't need millions. Leverage your experience. Passive income is key. Mindset shift, and even gives you the hashtags that I talked about. Now, what I'm going to do is, if I was wanted to make a post about this that we've just uh gone through, what I do is I do not just copy and paste and put this thing on ChatGPT, unless on LinkedIn, or put it anywhere. What I do is I'm going to get this post into a Word document, and I'm going to be able to refine it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to, one, either include a story, a personal story. I would also be able to include relatable examples. Now, terms like financial tightrope, yeah, this might sound like it is okay for somebody, but for some of us who went through basic schools, this could be really too much English. So what I do is, for this one, I totally do not include such terms. So I get this post and break it down. Sometimes you find that I've totally changed this post that it doesn't look ChatGPT in one or the other, because I have, one of the things I know is I have to make sure that maybe the first two lines are okay. Of course, ChatGPT can continuously refine this. I can even ask it to start this with let's say I can say start this with a story. So ChatGPT can refine this into another post and starts it with a story. But still, I'm not going to just use the same thing. What I'm going to do is to make sure that I'm trying to refine this to get to my way of writing. Because you see, as a writer, you have a pattern of how you write. There's your tone of how you write. So ChatGPT is not, yes, is solving some part of the problem, but when you make a post from ChatGPT, it should not just seem like everything is too plastic. You need to make sure that you are refining it to the tune, to make sure that it speaks to your audience and it captures the message. Now you can see I thought my salary was enough until reality hit. A friend of mine, an accomplished professional, had a well-paying job. Life was good until one day he walked into the office and was told the role he uh had been made redundant. No warning, no backup plan, just bills waiting to be paid. That's when I realized that depending on salary alone is like walking a financial tightrope with no safety. So ChatGPT has tried to refine this, but I still feel there's more that I can add to this as a writer. So this is not to make you lazy. And one of the things that I also do is sometimes I don't have to just bring a single prompt. I make sure that I write all my ideas. And all I do here is I come and ask ChatGPT to refine or improve grammar. Okay. So when you come here, you get to realize that even in terms of my writings, like for example, I was introducing somebody or whatever I was doing, I make sure that I come here and aha. Now you can see correct grammar to this and add hashtags. So one of the things that now I value is I want to remain professional. And also when you're writing freely, like throughout, you find yourself either missing out some elements or whatever. So instead of just having somebody who proofreads, has good English, sometimes I just come to ChatGPT and said correct grammar, had add hashtags, and I just give it what I have basically written, and before you know it, ChatGPT comes out with a beautiful post. Sometimes I even insist and tell ChatGPT, please do not change the words, because ChatGPT is very stubborn. Sometimes it wants to give you words. Sometimes I make sure that I emphasize. Okay. Now you can see I'm hosting the managing career transition session from this. This give me some questions to ask the speaker. So it's able to think and be able to give me. Now you can see. I wrote something from this and to come to ChatGPT, refine this for me. So ChatGPT gives me a refined copy. Of course, I reread it and see, can I be able to post this? Does it speak to my writing style? Can I instead turn some of these things so such that it doesn't sound like it's a machine that is actually writing? So that is something that I have also been able to use ChatGPT on as a tool. You need to just make sure that you know how to ask the right questions to this application, and it will really be a game changer for you. So friends, what I can say about content creation is that it's a journey of learning and relearning. There are quite a number of new tools that have come up. One of the things that have is also coming up, especially, is the aspect of video. Many platforms are trying to appreciate video. Even when you visit, for example, you could see now there are videos. You see some of my videos. Of course, they come being able to be before a camera and recording yourself and posting is not something that comes easy. But you get to realize that some of the applications are now appreciating video, and they want like content to be video. So that is one of the things that you get to realize. Of course, video will give you better reach. But one of the things I've also come to see with video is that it helps you connect with your audience. Now, I know some of you have dated. So there is that time when you just send your person you're dating a text message, or when you receive their text message, you read it and you feel good. But then there's also there's that feeling when they now just mention the words that they wanted to write to you. So that's the same thing with content as well, because we are human and we resonate the same way. So what happens is, even your content, when you now do video, it becomes natural, and somebody feels like you're not faking it, like you're sharing from heart. Because content, you can go to ChatGPT, get a full post and just put it there. But when it comes to video, you're speaking, everyone is watching you, but also you connect. There's an emotional connection that happens with, let's say, video. So once in a while, I encourage you to mix into your content, to do a video, even if you're doing a video once a week, even if it's once a month, but make sure that you do video. And then the other thing I would also say that LinkedIn favors consistency. You don't post once and you come back the next after a month. One of the things I've done is that, remember, you have an audience that keeps waiting upon your posts. So for example, if I post today and somebody loves my post, they would want to read more from me, or they want to be able to see my content more. So it's very important for you to continuously be consistent. One of the things I've done, and this is not something that I used to do, is every day, every morning, I make sure I put out a post. Now, like, I put out a post at around 11 hours. So every morning and of course evening, I also put out a post as well. Of course, there are sometimes when I miss because of certain aspects, but at least consistently. So somebody knows that every day they'll be able to read from Coach Samuel. Even LinkedIn itself, because LinkedIn and Facebook and other platforms are made in a way that um, you're basically partnering with them. If you're a content creator, you're partnering with them because how do they benefit? They benefit by keeping people on these platforms. So if you're a creator that is consistent in your content, even the content will continue will be given out more. So it's very key for you to be consistent when it comes to how you put out your content. And then the other thing is feel free to also circulate some of your content to other platforms as well when you visit, let's say, my X, something that I usually do is once I've posted it on LinkedIn, I also just come on X and let's say just share it. And there could be a few followers, just like you can see, I have about 10 that like the post. But you could see that I'm also able to create better reach. Now, what that helps me is when somebody comes to Google here, let's say they are Googling about me and they are putting in, let's say, Coach Samuel. I'm going to show you something here. So when somebody is Googling me and putting in Coach Samuel, you're going to see my website definitely will show up. But the LinkedIn will show up. The next thing will be, you can see the YouTube is showing up. The next thing you'll see that even the other post that I made on LinkedIn that had more views and whatever does not show up. But again, it is my X post that is showing up here. So cross posting is also very good. So you can see my X posts show up because that's how the algorithm is mapped up. You can see here I was invited by somebody, so it shows up. Now, these are even TikTok videos that were posted by another person. So they're also showing up there. Then another YouTube channel I have, then Facebook also comes in here. So what this helps you is that this is an integral part of your personal brand. Why you're posting on LinkedIn is you're creating visibility. That if somebody, let's say, wants to recruit you the next day, they want to make sure that when they search about you, they can go to your profile and read about you. So if you, let's say, employed and you want to target certain people who may be looking for people like you, what I recently made a post and said, if you're an accountant and you're looking for a job, tell us about internal controls. Tell us about how to manage assets. Tell us about risk management. Tell us about things that you think would actually benefit anyone who could be interested in what? In let's say an accountant. And that gives you even better reach. So you can be able to look at that. If you're a business person, continuously be able to use the platform to also grow your business. If you realize, of course, um, I lead the team at Transformation Professionals Club. You realize that it doesn't go a week without me posting about the Transformation Professionals Club because the club cannot grow if I do not position it out. Right now we are about, I think we have gotten some good followers that are coming through. So it's very good for you to continuously position your business as well if you have one. And of course I encourage you to have one. Create for it a page and let it also have some content, also routine content. What that also helps is that it also gives credibility to your brand, especially your business brand, if you have one, such that when somebody visits your profile, they can be able to also move to your business brand. Okay? That is something that is very helpful to you. So that is what I can say about content creation. And I know that it's a journey. One thing I would encourage you that do not overwhelm yourself. Continuously learn, observe. If there's one who I've learned about LinkedIn is observe. You'll see a post that will be so viral, and you wonder why could this post be a viral? There are also posts that you'll see that are really so good, but the post does not gathered any kind of, let's say, likes that you'd expect. Now, some of that is because of the algorithm and what. And then, of course, LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, these are communities. Make sure that you interact with content. If you find something that resonates with you, like it, support other creators. In a way, you also supported, and the algorithm is able to position your content in the same way. So support them. You can see this is post has this. So finally, if somebody told me writing a book would be demanding, so you could see. Of course, LinkedIn favors celebration posts and whatever. And that is why once in a while, if you've gotten any celebration, any new job or whatever new experience, share it. But also feel free to also share about some of your pains, things that you want to be able to change. Of course, you maintain privacy of the characters to make sure that that is not coming through. But just make sure that you continuously posting, posting, posting. So you could see this is some of my posts. So sometimes I just come here and look through and see what post did I make maybe 1 year back, and I'm able to see if it can speak to my audience right now, and I'm able to pick it and I'm able to post it again. If there's a picture that I think could be able to resonate with the message, I can post it. I made this post sometime back again where I was saying I got a rejection email for a job opportunity that I badly needed. This was 5 months ago. When you look at my content, you get to realize that I made that post also sometime back. I think okay, this was I'm quitting. So I made just a post. So some posts are just prompts to make sure that I'm trying to create curiosity for my audience. This was a time when I was doing a mentorship session for my former school. Here I was invited to speak to Rotary. Now, one of the things that I would encourage you is that people are not going to invite you to speak if they are not seeing posts of you speaking. That is one of the things. They will invite you, yes. You have the people who will take chance on you for the first time. But if you're doing something, if, for example, Kanyesje, you a moderator, we need to be able to see you moderate a session. Or we need to see you write about moderation, like you where you've moderated before, such that when I come and get through your content, I'm able to see. And that is how I'm able to get an opportunity to be able to be invited on different platforms because people see what I'm able to do. So that is something that I've also come to realize as well. So I make sure that at least when you have an opportunity to take a photo, you take it and be able to share. At the end of the day, it's growing. I wanted to show you the post that I had made several years. So I made this post 1 year back. I got a rejection email and I got over 331 kind of comments. Of course, it had a good reach. Now I went on to repeat this post like 5 months back. Same post. And it gathered, of course, some likes. Of course, my audience may not have changed much, but also sometimes it's either the algorithm or whatever. But yeah, it helps me to remain consistent times when I'm not able to show up, maybe because for one reason or the other. So that is what exactly happens. But it's a journey, continuously get yourself there, have the courage, have the confidence. No one started with all those likes. When you look at some of my first posts, you get to realize that I started with low. There even some posts that I would make because I usually keep such kind of information because it helps me to even remind myself that actually there is a future. Because when you get down to when I check look at my first posts, my first post did not do well. Some of them would have 2 likes, 1 like, whatever, but you'll be able to find to see that I've been able to now to gather some audience because the way to grow online is really have an audience. And the audience, those are basically your cheerleaders. People who always follow through your content and will never give up on you. Like even when you make a post, just like music, there are musicians that make their way into the space that even if they make what kind of music, you see them flowing. These are just my previous posts. There are too many that I've made from the time I joined LinkedIn. Okay, I thought I would even move down to my first post, but I think that is it that I could share, and I hope you've picked something or one or thing. One thing I encourage you is posts. You can have me to look at your content and give you some feedback. Do not post anything that has grammatical errors. Use ChatGPT to refine your posts. You could just say, refine my post. You can even instruct it not to change any word, to just correct the grammar, such that you show a professional. When somebody's reading your posts, they feel it's professional. Ensure you space your write-ups. Do not crowd them into paragraphs that are not easy to read, because at the end of the day, people are tired. By the time they come to your post, they want to be entertained. And also keep on changing. Do not use one methodology. Today, come up with a video, come up with a post, whatever, like that. And before you know it, people have started really resonate with your content. But above everything, know whom you're speaking to. When you know whom you're speaking to, when somebody writes a post, there are many posts that I write and somebody is like, you just spoke to me. You were just writing. You were just why is it that every time you write your posts, you just speak to me? Because I know that person. When I'm writing, I'm speaking to that person. So that is the same thing that you could also do. So thank you so much for listening. If you're watching this live or you're watching a video, I really do not take this for granted. And I know that you can be able to reach out where you need support, and I'm able to help you. Otherwise, I've been your coach, Coach Samuel Ibanda, and I wish you all the best as you try out your LinkedIn journey. And I want to tell you that LinkedIn changed my life. It opened doors for me in terms of my career. I was able to connect with many people. There are interviews I've gone to, and people already know me because they have seen my content. There are speaking engagements I've been able to get because of LinkedIn. Quite a number of things that have come my way because of LinkedIn. And I also want you to just invest in yourself. In about 10 years, according to reports to various people that have written, even various entities, the world is changing, and AI is replacing professionals. There are quite a number of things that are really changing. Funds freeze, whatever is happening, no one is safe. But if you have a strong personal brand, especially online brand, means that you can always move from one space to the other. And at the end of the day, you also have people who are reaching out to you for consultancy, people who are buying from you, and quite a number of things that could really happen. So I really encourage you to be intentional. I know it is not easy, and if it was easy, it wouldn't make even sense for us to have a conversation about it, because it is easy for everyone. It will just be crowded. But what makes it not easy is actually to the benefit, because that is when you can be able to tap into it, because not everyone can figure it out. That is what happens. So just go for it. Start small, continuously, and before you know it, you would have been. And it doesn't matter how many followers you have. Even if you have 20 followers, those are people who are interested in your content and could really benefit out of it. So thank you so much, and may God bless you in this process. All right. All right. All right. Thank you, members, for listening in.